Erling Haaland has 5.8 million followers on China's version of TikTok. That's more than the entire population of Norway. Norway has 5.5 million people. Their biggest football star has more social media followers in one country than there are people in his entire homeland. And tomorrow, that same player faces England in a World Cup quarterfinal that could send Norway to their first ever semi-final. The numbers story is crazy. The football story is even crazier. In case you've been living under a rock, Erling Haaland is arguably the most feared striker on the planet. 24 years old. Norwegian, plays for Manchester City, scores goals for fun. He's got power, pace, and a finishing instinct that defenders simply cannot handle. At this World Cup, he already knocked out Brazil with a brace in the quarterfinal. He's the reason Norway is one win away from a World Cup semi-final, and the world can't stop watching him. So how does a Norwegian striker end up with more Chinese social media followers than Norwegians in his own country? It starts with Douyin, China's version of TikTok. With over 700 million daily active users. Haaland joined in 2023 and his content exploded. His highlights, his celebrations, his personality, Chinese fans love him. Manchester City's Chinese marketing machine helped, but mostly it's Haaland himself. He's genuinely popular there. He's done brand deals, visited China, learned some Mandarin catchphrases. He's not just a footballer in China, he's an influencer. To understand how big this is, you need to understand Norway's football history. Norway has never won a World Cup match in the knockout stages before this tournament. Never. Not one. They qualified for only 3 previous World Cups: 1938, 1994, and 1998. Their best ever finish was the round of 16 in 1998. They've never been to a quarterfinal, let alone a semi-final. Now here they are, 1 win away from the last 4. And they have Haaland to thank for most of it, but first Norway has to get past England, and England knows exactly who they need to stop. Haaland has scored in every knockout match so far. His movement is impossible to track for 90 minutes. England's defense, Stones, Guehi, and Walker, will need to be perfect. The key is cutting his supply line. Norway's midfield creates chances for him, and if England smothers those passing lanes, Haaland can't hurt them. But here's the problem: nobody has figured out how to do it for a full match at this World Cup. This is what makes the World Cup magical. Norway, a country of 5 million people, is 1 win away from a semi-final. England, a country of 56 million, the birthplace of football, with some of the most expensive players on earth, stands in their way. On paper, England should win. But they don't play on paper. Norway has Haaland, and Haaland is the kind of player who can win a match by himself. It's the oldest story in sports, the giant versus the underdog. And the whole world loves an underdog. For England, this is about proving their credentials. They came into this tournament as one of the favorites. They've looked solid but not spectacular. A loss to Norway, a nation that's never won a knockout match before this year, would be an embarrassment. For Norway, it's about making history. A semi-final would be the greatest achievement in Norwegian football history. The entire country will be watching. 5.5 million Norwegians plus 5.8 million Chinese Haaland fans will be glued to their screens. The stakes couldn't be higher. If Norway beats England and reaches the semi-final, it changes everything. A small nation reaching the last 4 of the World Cup sends a message to every football federation in the world: you don't need a huge population or a rich league. You need one generational talent and a team that believes. It would be the story of the tournament. A country of 5.5 million, with a striker who has more Chinese followers than Norwegians, rewriting World Cup history. That's the kind of story that inspires the next generation of footballers everywhere. Here's why the douyin number matters beyond being a fun fact. China is the world's biggest sports market. A footballer with 5.8 million Chinese followers has commercial power that most athletes can only dream of. Haaland's brand value is skyrocketing because of this Chinese audience. Jersey sales in China, sponsorship deals, global recognition, it all ties back to that follower count. And if Norway makes the semi-final, that number will only grow. By the end of this World Cup, Haaland might have more Chinese followers than there are people in Norway and England combined. So here we are. Tomorrow, England versus Norway, a quarterfinal, a chance at history. On one side, England the favorite, the football giant carrying decades of expectation. On the other, Norway the underdog with 5.5 million people and one unstoppable striker. And watching from China, 5.8 million douyin followers who don't care about history or statistics, they just want to see Haaland score. Whatever happens tomorrow, this is already the greatest Norwegian World Cup campaign ever. But a semifinal? That would be a fairy tale. And football is built on fairy tales.